On this bug, show what's been done. Of course, I haven't really worked on it that much the last month, so it just started a couple days ago. So these are the painted wheels. It's going to be pastel blue, so that'll look kind of neat with the white and the dark blue. Went ahead and sanded and rust proofed all this area. This time I used on this car, because this car is going to sit. I'm going to use epoxy primer on the base. You don't really need to use that all the time. A lot of guys say, oh yeah, you got epoxy primer, everything, sandblast it all. You know, when you sandblast it, yes, you need to epoxy prime everything, because once it's sandblasted, it is open. The rust will come fast. If you sand your rust and treat your rust with some of the treatments that I've shown in my other videos, then you don't really need to do that. You can actually put just a good primer that's self-etching right over your work. The polyester primer is self-etching and also really sandable, so I use that one a lot. But this car, because it's probably going to sit outside for the time being, I won't be able to work this one straight through. I don't have a place inside all the time for it underneath. It's going to definitely get some rust, surface rust on it before it gets to paint stage. So anyway, that's why we're doing epoxy primer on everything as I finish it. So all this has been sanded and epoxy primed. All this has been sanded and epoxy primed. All this stuff here. Now I wanted to prime it so I could see what I need to finish. Yeah, I'm going to do this stuff, clean this up a little bit. Only a little bit of waviness here. I'm not looking for that to be perfect, because it wasn't perfect when it was new. Down here, I'm going to have to do a little bit more work here. You can see that very well right there. But it's just easier to see when you have a coat of primer. Behind here, I'm going to do quite a bit more work. The thing about epoxy primer is it's not really good for sanding. So it just gives you, I can see where I'm at. I can see what I need to do. It's nice and smooth. Smooth finish. Sorry about that. Look at this side here. That's got the new thing. I'm going to finish out all this work here before I put the apron on, because once you put the apron on, it's really hard to get a sander into these corners. Even with the type of sander that I use, the mouse sander. If you watch my other video, you can see that. Subscribe to the channel and visit one of our sponsors every once in a while so we can keep me motivated to make these videos. I do these so that you young folks can learn a lot of this stuff, so you can do your own work. So, because they don't really have, I learned in high school, they don't have that anymore. So I've got a little more work to do here. You can see that. Probably clean this up a little bit right here. Some of the waviness I'm probably going to leave. I'm not going to do too much more to that. Just straighten it out enough so where you can look in the fender well, it doesn't look damaged. And so here's the quarter wheels painted. Quarter panels have been sanded. All the small dings that were around the fender edges especially, fixed all those. And then if you saw my past videos, I put the bumper bracket, what are they called, supports, painted wheel. Things looking pretty good. Did some straightening in here. Of course, you saw that video. You'd see that I reworked a lot of this to get the lines to be pretty close. I lined it all the way up because that deck lid's got to come off. It needs a lot of work. The hood and the deck lid are the worst parts of this that, along with these things being off. And the front damage was a lot more work than it looked like. That stuff takes a lot of time. This doesn't take very long in the back, but the front did. It does take a little more time. And the doors are in good shape, so the roof is in great shape, very, very straight. So the main work is going to be back here, and I'm going to save this, of course. I could probably find a better one, but you know, this one's been on this car since 1961. Look at the original paint. Why would I take that off and find one different. It's just the whole idea that that's the original deck lid and the hood. This hood, there's a lot of damage. I mean, it is kinky and wavy. It's got some front end damage. These lines are going to be tricky right here. That's going to take some man hours. There's dents everywhere. I got this crack to fix. The cracks actually are pretty easy to fix. But it's all the small stuff, like right here. There's a pretty good sized dent, and look where it is. Ta-da! Right under the bracket. So the hood is going to take some work, but you know, if you look at that, it's the original hood. It's the original hood for this car. There's absolutely no way that I would want to get a different hood for this car, because this is the hood that came on it. It's been on here since 1961. Very cool. Just the idea of that to me is just bitchin'. So, and the fenders too. The fenders, of course, could have gotten much easier to fix fenders than those. If you saw the videos on those were pretty rough. But the apron was not savable, so you know I had to cut it off anyway to do all the work behind it. But yeah, it'll still look good. So that you won't really notice. But anyway, that's the progress on the 61. Thought you guys might want to see it. Some of you guys are really interested in this car.